Scriptures, the first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 9. Then Adam and Hawwah came out of the cave of treasures and came near to the garden gate. There they stood and looked at it and cried for having gone away from it. And Adam and Hawwah went south of the gate of the garden to the side of it, and found there the water that watered the garden, which came from the root of the tree of Chai. And they saw that the water was split from there into 4 rivers over the earth. Then they came near to that water and looked at it and saw that it was the water that came up from under the root of the tree of Chai in the garden. And Adam cried and wailed and beat his chest for being cut out from the garden, and said to Hawwah, "Why have you brought so many of these plagues and punishments on me, on yourself, and on our descendants?" And Hawwah said to him, "What is it you have seen that has caused you to cry and to speak to me in this manner?" And he said to Hawwah, "Do you not see this water that watered the trees of the garden and flowed out from there, that was with us in the garden? And when we were in the garden, we did not care about it. But since we came to this strange land, we love it and turn it to use for our body." But when Hawwah heard these words from him, she cried, and from the soreness of their crying they fell into that water. They would have put an end to themselves in it, as never again to return and behold the creation. For when they looked at the work of creation, they felt they must put an end to themselves. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 10. Then Elohim, merciful and gracious, looked at them as they were lying in the water and close to death, and he sent a messenger who brought them out of the water and laid them on the seashore as dead. Then the messenger went up to Elohim and said, "O Elohim, your creatures have breathed their last breath." Then Elohim sent his word to Adam and Hawwah, who raised them from their death. And Adam said, after he was raised, "O Elohim, while we were in the garden, we did not require or care about this water. But since we came to this land, we cannot do without it." Then Elohim said to Adam, "While you were under my command and were a bright messenger, you did not experience this water. But now that you have transgressed my commandment, you cannot do without water to wash your body and make it grow, for it is now like that of beasts and is in want of water." When Adam and Hawwah heard these words from Elohim, they cried a bitter cry, and Adam entreated Elohim to let him return into the garden and look at it a second time. But Elohim said to Adam, "I have made you a promise. When that promise is fulfilled, I will bring you back into the garden, you and your righteous descendants." And Elohim ceased to commune with Adam. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 11. Adam and Hawwah then felt themselves burning with thirst and heat and sorrow, and Adam said to Hawwah, "We shall not drink of this water even if we were to die. O Hawwah, when this water comes into our inner parts, it will increase our punishments and that of our descendants." Both Adam and Hawwah then went away from the water and drank none of it at all, but came and entered the cave of treasures. But when in it Adam could not see Hawwah, he only heard the noise she made. Neither could she see Adam, but heard the noise he made. Then Adam cried in deep affliction and beat his chest and got up and said to Hawwah, "Where are you?" And she said unto him, "Look, I am standing here in this darkness." He then said to her, "Remember the bright nature in which we lived while we abode in the garden. O Hawwah, remember the glory that rested on us in the garden. O Hawwah, remember the trees that overshadowed us in the garden while we moved among them. O Hawwah, remember that while we were in the garden, we knew neither night nor day. Think of the tree of Chai, from below which flowed the water, and that shed splendor over us. Remember, O Hawwah, the garden land and the brightness of it. Think of that garden in which was no darkness while we lived in it. But no sooner did we come into this cave of treasures than darkness surrounded us all around until we can no longer see each other, and all the pleasure of this life has come to an end. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 12. Then Adam beat his chest, he and Hawwah, and they mourned the whole night until the first light of dawn, and they sighed over the length of the night in the 8th month. And Adam beat himself and threw himself on the ground in the cave from bitter grief, and because of the darkness, and lay there as dead. But Hawwah heard the noise he made in falling on the ground, and she felt about for him with her hands, and found him like a corpse. Then she was afraid, speechless, and she remained by him. But the merciful Yahweh looked on the death of Adam, and on Hawwah's silence from fear of the darkness. And the word of Elohim came to Adam, and raised him from his death, and opened Hawwah's mouth that she might speak. Then Adam stood up in the cave and said, O Elohim, why has light departed from us and darkness covered us? Why did you leave us in this extensive darkness? Why do you plague us like this? And this darkness, O Yahweh, where was it before it covered us? It is because of this that we cannot see each other. For so long as we were in the garden, we neither saw nor even knew what darkness was. I was not hidden from Hawwah, neither was she hidden from me, until now that she cannot see me, and no darkness came over us to separate us from each other. But she and I were both in one bright light. I saw her, and she saw me. Yet now since we came into this cave, darkness has covered us and separated us from each other, so that I do not see her, and she does not see me. O Yahweh, will you then plague us with this darkness? First book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 13. Then when Elohim, who is merciful and full of pity, heard Adam's voice, he said to him, O Adam, so long as the good messenger was obedient to me, a bright light rested on him and on his hosts. But when he transgressed my commandment, I dispossessed him of that bright nature, and he became dark. And when he was in the Shamayim, in the realms of light, he knew nothing of darkness. But he transgressed, and I made him fall from the Shamayim onto the earth, and it was this darkness that came over him. And O Adam, while in my garden and obedient to me, that bright light rest also on you. But when I heard of your transgression, I took from you that bright light. Yet of my mercy I did not turn you into darkness, but I made your body a body of flesh, over which I spread this skin, in order that it may bear cold and heat. If I had let my wrath fall heavily on you, I should have destroyed you, and had I turned you into darkness, it would have been as if I had killed you. But in my mercy I have made you as you are when you transgressed my commandment. O Adam, I drove you from the garden and made you come forth into this land, and commanded you to live in this cave, and darkness covered you, as it did over him who transgressed my commandment. Thus, O Adam, has this night deceived you. It is not to last forever, but is only of 12 hours. When it is over, daylight will return. Do not sigh or be moved, and do not say in your heart that this darkness is long and drags on wearily. Do not say in your heart that I plague you with it. Strengthen your heart and be not afraid. This darkness is not a punishment. Adam, I have made the day and have placed the sun in it to give light, in order that you and your children should do your work. For I knew you would sin and transgress and come out into this land. Yet I wouldn't force you, nor be heard over you, nor shut up, nor doom you through your fall, nor through your coming out from light into darkness, nor yet through your coming from the garden into this land. For I made you of the light, and I willed to bring out children of light from you that were like you. But you did not keep my commandment one day until I had finished the creation and berakah everything in it. Then concerning the tree, I commanded you not to eat of it. Yet I knew that Satan, who deceived himself, would also deceive you. So I made known to you by means of the tree not to come near him. And I told you not to eat of the fruit thereof, nor to taste of it, nor yet to sit under it, nor to yield to it. Had I not spoken to you, O Adam, concerning the tree, and had I left you without a commandment, and you had sinned, it would have been an offense on my part, for not having given you any order, you would turn around and blame me for it. But I commanded you and warned you, and you fell, so that my creatures cannot blame me, but the blame rests on them alone. And, O Adam, I have made the day so that you and your descendants can work and toil in it, and I have made the night for them to rest in it from their work, and for the beasts of the field to go forth by night and look for their food. But little of darkness now remains, O Adam, and daylight will soon appear. First book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 14. Then Adam said to Elohim, O Yahweh, take my soul and let me not see this gloom any more, or remove me to some place where there is no darkness. But Yahweh Elohim said to Adam, I say to you, indeed, this darkness will pass from you every day. I have determined for you until the fulfillment of my covenant, when I will save you and bring you back again into the garden and into the house of light you long for, in which there is no darkness. I will bring you to it in the reign of the Shamayim. Again Elohim said to Adam, all this misery that you have been made to take on yourself because of your transgression will not free you from the hand of Satan, and it will not save you. But I will, when my bane shall come down from the Shamayim, and shall become flesh of your descendants, and take on himself the infirmity from which you suffer, then the darkness that covered you in this cave shall cover him in the grave, when he is the flesh of your descendants. And he who is without years shall be subject to the reckoning of years, of times, of months, and of days, and he shall be reckoned as one of the sons of men, in order to save you. And Elohim ceased to commune with Adam. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 15. Then Adam and Hawwah cried and were sorrowful because of Elohim's word to them that they should not return to the garden until the fulfillment of the days decreed on them, but mostly because Elohim had told them that his bane should suffer for their deliverance. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 16. After this, Adam and Hawwah continued to stand in the cave, praying and crying until the morning dawned on them. And when they saw the light return to them, they refrained from being afraid and strengthened their hearts. Then Adam came out of the cave, and when he came to the mouth of it and stood and turned his face towards the east, and saw the sunrise in glowing rays, and felt the heat thereof on his body, he was afraid of it, and thought in his heart that this flame came forth to plague him. He then cried and beat his chest, and he fell on the ground on his face, and made his appeal, saying, O Yahweh, plague me not, neither consume me, nor yet take away my life from the earth. For he thought the sun was Elohim, because while he was in the garden, and heard the voice of Elohim, and the sound he made in the garden, and feared him, Adam never saw the brilliant light of the sun, neither did its flaming heat touch his body. Therefore he was afraid of the sun when flaming rays of it reached him. He thought Elohim meant to plague him with it all the days he had decreed for him. For Adam also said in his thoughts that Elohim did not plague them with darkness, but he had caused this sun to rise and to plague them with burning heat. But while he was thinking like this in his heart, the word of Elohim came to him and said, Adam, get up on your feet. This sun is not Elohim, but it has been created to give light by day, that I spoke to you about in the cave, saying, the dawn would come, and there would be light by day. But I am Elohim who comforted you in the night. And Elohim ceased to commune with Adam. First book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 17. Then Adam and Hawwah came out at the mouth of the cave and went toward the garden. But as they went near the western gate, from which Satan came when he deceived Adam and Hawwah, they found the serpent that became Satan coming at the gate, and it was sorrowfully licking the dust and wiggling on its breast on the ground because of the curse that fell on it from Elohim. Before the curse, the serpent was the most exalted of all beasts. Now it was changed and become slippery and the meanest of them all, and it crept on its breast and went on its belly. Before, it was the fairest of all beasts. It had been changed and became the most ugly of them all. Instead of feeding on the best food, now it turned to eat the dust. Instead of living as before in the best places, now it lived in the dust. It had been the most beautiful of all beasts, and all stood speechless at its beauty. It was now abhorred of them. And again, whereas it lived in a beautiful home to which all other animals came from everywhere, and where it drank, they drank also of the same, now after it had become venomous, by reason of Elohim's curse, all beasts fled from its home and would not drink of the water it drank, but fled from it. First book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 18. When the accursed serpent saw Adam and Hawwah, it swelled its head, stood on its tail, and with eyes blood red, it acted like it would kill them. It made straight for Hawwah and ran after her while Adam stood by and yelled because he had no stick in his hand with which to hit the serpent and did not know how to put it to death. But with a heart burning for Hawwah, Adam approached the serpent and held it by the tail when it turned towards him and said to him, "O Adam, because of you and Hawwah, I am slippery and go on my belly." Then with its great strength it threw down Adam and Hawwah and squeezed them and tried to kill them. But Elohim sent a messenger who threw the serpent away from them and raised them up. Then the word of Elohim came to the serpent and said to it, "The first time I made you slick and made you to go on your belly, but I did not deprive you of speech. This time, however, you will be mute, and you and your race will speak no more, because the first time my creatures were ruined because of you, and this time you tried to kill them." Then the serpent was struck mute, and it was no longer able to speak. And a wind blew down from the Shamayim by the command of Elohim, and carried away the serpent from Adam and Hawwah, and threw it on the seashore where it landed in India. The first book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 19. But Adam and Hawwah cried before Elohim, and Adam said to him, "O Yahweh, when I was in the cave I said this to you, Yahweh, the beasts of the field would rise and devour me and cut off my life from the earth." Then Adam, because of what had happened to him, beat his chest and fell on the ground like a corpse. Then the word of Elohim came to him, who raised him and said to him, "O Adam, not one of these beasts will be able to hurt you, because I have made the beasts and other moving things come to you in the cave. I did not let the serpent come with them, because it might have risen against you and made you tremble, and the fear of it should fall into your hearts. I knew that the accursed one is wicked, therefore I would not let it come near you with the other beasts. But now strengthen your heart and fear not. I am with you to the end of the days I have determined for you. First book of Adam and Hawwah, Adam and Eve 1, chapter 20. Then Adam cried and said, "O Elohim, take us away to some other place where the serpent cannot come near us again and rise against us. For I fear that it might find your handmaid Hawwah alone and kill her, for its eyes are hideous and evil." But Elohim said to Adam and Hawwah, "Don't be afraid. From now on, I will not let it come near you. I have driven it away from you and from this mountain. I will not leave in it the ability to hurt you." Then Adam and Hawwah worshipped before Elohim and gave him thanks and praised him for having delivered them from death.